if you listen to Bawumia and his bid to over-elaborate, as he always does, he ended up saying or admitting that perhaps a lot of the pink sheet that he himself and the rest of the petitioners are relying upon are suspects. And to me, that is a very, very heavy self-blow, shooting themselves in the foot. And if you know the impact of this in law, I'm sure that Bawumia's performance will be the last thing that would excite you. And quite apart from that, you should also know by now that this court case or this petition regarding 2012 election is not only being fought in court. At least the MPP has made the people of Ghana to understand that we will fight court battle, but at the same time we would also want to move along with our supporters, with our support base, and in doing so, what they have sought to do is to twist and turn every bit of the court proceedings. Even in the face of live coverage, you'll be surprised the kinds of interviews that the likes of Yabuabia Samoa would grant. Will say Chachu has done nothing. Somebody is impersonating Chachu. They can't believe that is Chachu. But my question always is that if they are really not worried, why are they lamenting? Why are they complaining? Who are they trying to comfort? If the man has performed nothing, why are you complaining? Because really, it only makes sense when his performance is threatening your case. His performance is sending shock waves down the spines of the MPP. That is the only way you come up with this ill-conceived, long-dead, stillbirth strategy of trying to paint the man black or, as you like, discredit his performance. I do not see that thing standing the test of time at all. I'm sure that if Chachu's cross-examination was nothing to go by, then why the objection from Philip Anderson? Why would he object if he thinks that Chachu was not going to do anything? He should rather be excited because, after all, Chachu will do nothing. But indeed, and as we all saw, the contrary was the case. As part of the cross-examination by the counsel for the third respondent, that is the NDC, he made references to an earlier reference that was made to statement purportedly made by, it's not even purported, actually made by Boache Ejako. I don't know if I got the name right. Let me just be sure. Boache Ejako. Just bear with me. Okay, good. It's Boache Ejako. He was the campaign manager of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's campaign 2012, and I'm sure that the earlier attempt by Philip Addison to object to counsel for the first respondent, making references to matters that he thinks have not been pleaded, only to be reminded that we have the NDC have pleaded that in their evidence. So is the first respondent, which is the Excellency John Mahama's counsel. They have pleaded that. And so that also has been captured on record. What is also important to remember is that there has been some bit of contestation as to whether or not this statement was made by Boache Ejako. I'm sure that Ghanaians, we sometimes appear to be in a haste to have issues, past and gone. Let's forge ahead. Let's celebrate the future. Let's forget about the past. But it's important that we remind viewers, for the purposes of these proceedings, at the risk of being in contempt of court, I will be very cautious when picking some of these items. I have in my hands the press statement issued on 8th December. This is a copy of the press statement. And if the camera can zoom on it, would the camera zoom on it? Okay, but this statement largely goes to confirm the press statement issued by Boache Ejako in the middle of the election. That is the second day of voting, and it will interest you to know that there are very damaging comments that he made. For instance, let me quickly refer you to, he said, and I quote, "We are calling on the EC to stick strictly to the law which gives voters in all polling stations where voting was suspended yesterday an opportunity to cast their ballots today, using biometric verification so that legitimate and clear victory for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo can be declared as quickly as possible once all votes are cast, and a transition process for Mahama's caretaker presidency can begin." Also important to remind you is that Boakye Agyarko stated that he urged the NDC presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama to stop making unlawful pronouncements on the electoral process and display good sportsmanship in allowing the rest of the voters who are unable to cast their votes on December 7th to proceed on Saturday to exercise their franchise in a transparent and lawful manner according to biometric process. But there are a lot of such damaging remarks, made by the NPP's own agent, in this case, the campaign manager. A lot of them. But I'll go for a quick commercial break. When I come back, I'll introduce my guests. They will take us through the rest of the comment made by the NPP on the side regarding the court case. Stay with me. I'll be right back. Hello, and thanks for staying with us. For the supporters of Real Madrid, myself included, we are still praying and hoping that we'll get these 3 unanswered goals in the net of, if you like, Dortmund. We need that thing. We need that thing. I have Fred Agbonyo in the studio. He's a member of the government communication team, also a Real Madrid fan. We're having a background discussion. Very, very disappointed we are at the moment. We also have in the studio Prince Kasim Alubankudi. He's the General Secretary of the NDC UK Ireland branch. He's here with us to have a quick discussion on the court processes. And if there is time, would attempt to talk about the first 100 days achievement of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's, presidency 2013. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. Fred,
thank you very much.
Real Madrid. We are not commenting on Real Madrid. Let's go straight to the court case.
Well, I think that has taken all our attention, and it's all good. Yeah. Sometimes you need time off to relax yourself. Let me just say good evening to our cherished viewers. I think all of us are following court proceedings. Proud to NPP going to court. All of us were witness as members of this society. We heard the things that the NPP said before the election. Several times, majority of the leadership threatened the people of this country that all costs Ghanaians must make them the winners of the election. That it is their birthright to govern this country, and therefore nobody else but Nana Addo must be the winner of the election. To the extent that even the flag bearer himself at the time had a cause to say that any election that does not declare him the winner, there's something else. He said, all die be die, for instance. They are calm people, can do whatever they want to do. You remember some of them threatening using a pistol to hit people's head. Some say Afghanistan will come to Ghana. All manner of things were said in this country. So when the elections really were taking place, before 8th of December, after the self-election, they have had cause to announce to the people of this country how they have won election. In fact, I have in my hands here a document or a press release that was issued by no other person but the Nana Akufo-Addo's campaign manager, Boakye Agyarko, who predicted at the time on the 8th of December that Nana Addo had won the elections by 51.8%, following the result that had come in at the time. I don't know if I really have your permission. I could read. He gave out all the statistics. The New Patriotic Party on Saturday claimed its presidential candidate Nana Akufo-Addo was comfortably in the lead with projection of about 40 million votes counted in their favor, representing 40% of total ballot cast. The party's director of campaign, Boakye Agyarko, disclosed at a news conference that Nana Akufo-Addo was currently in the lead after clinching 51.8% of the votes cast, as reported by their agents throughout the country. Take note, as reported by their agents throughout the country, that they were leading by 51.8%. He proceeded to Mr. Agyarko commended 2 of the party parliamentary candidates, Alex Apenyo Markins, who today as we speak is a member of parliament, and Stephen Siaka, who have beaten incumbent MPs, Mike Hammer and Alexander Asum Ahensa, both serving ministers in the elections at the Futu and German North constituency, respectively. He also urged party supporters who could not vote in Friday's polls to turn out in their numbers at the polling station to vote massively for Mr. Akufo-Addo and the NPP's parliamentary candidate to ensure a resounding victory. The campaign director appeared very confident as he told the assembled members of the press that Akufo-Addo is just shy of 52%, and the party is confident that it will maintain that lead and win the elections. However, he tempered this expression of confidence when he told his audience that it ain't over until the fat lady signs. So indeed, throughout the process of the election, the campaign manager, per the result they were collecting themselves, per the information they were getting from their party agents, who today we are told connive with people, collected money, their party agents across the length of the country. They are accusing them of people who are not credible, people who cannot be trusted, people who could go and take money from other political parties and then sold the destiny of their party to other people. This man had a cause to commend them that per their result, their candidate was winning. And this is a statement he issued on the 8th, which was Saturday. Don't forget, the elections took place on the 7th, because this same biometric, animal that has come and arbitrary around our neck. You remember, even before the election, when these same MP people started screaming all over the place, we need a biometric machine. Some of us at the time said, listen, we know the difficulty we have in this country. We have difficulty with energy supply. Now, on the event that a machine breaks down, what happens? We are talking about the CR7, the fact that did not make any provision except to say that when there's a machine a breakdown, they should postpone the elections. So, are we going to continue to postpone the election for the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, until that time they're able to fix the machines? Yet the MPP insisted. NDC as a law-abiding political party, a political party that has demonstrated over the period that we care about sanity in our electoral processes. And therefore, any time that we're in power, we have brought a lot of improvement and changes, yielded to their pressure, provided the resources and the machines. The people said they were winning. We went to a campaign with our people, no biometric, no vote. We went in there. We casted the vote. Now, on Sunday morning, in fact, I have another statement here. Indeed, which was issued by no other person but by the General Secretary of MPP, who said to these party people that they had won the elections. All of them should go out on Sunday morning in their white. Should go and thank God and celebrate. They have won the elections. He said they had collected all the elections across the length and breadth of this country and they had won. The question the people of this country are asking today is this: where from the source of the data that they put out, the information that they put out, for which they claim they had won the election, where did they get that information from? Could it be a case that they were only deceiving the people of this country? They were lying to the people of this country? What happened along the line? Ajaku had a cause, and I'm surprised. As we speak today, perhaps in the line is sleeping in America, enjoying again. I've never seen him in court. This is a man who was supposed to be the campaign manager. Issue a statement, and a statement I think I heard you read an aspect of it, again on the 8th. And it is important to remind the people of this country that Saturday, 8th December, NPP issued 4 press statements. 4 press statements on that day. 3 by the campaign manager, 1 by the general secretary. Sunday, the national chairman followed with another one. And in all instances, they said they had won the elections. They said they had won, they had collected everything. To the extent that they started even calling upon the President Mahama to hand over, to concede defeat.
And start making
transition process. They made such statements. So when did the NPP realize that they lost the elections? When? Now, when defeat finally had come to them, Dr. Farijan, the man mandated by the Constitution to declare the winner of the election results. And I say every day, Ali, that if anybody would follow our election in this country, by now would have come to the conclusion that it is so difficult to rig elections in Ghana. I don't know how you are going to do it. And all of us were very much involved in our elections. So sometimes I ask, how are you going to do it? This election that is conducted in the full view of everybody. Results are counted over there. The same agent, MPP agents, who today they are saying that they are not credible, they are not trustworthy, they are just mere observers. They were there. In most cases, they challenged and appended their signatures. They called for recounting. And I remember vividly Domiko Abenya instance, where they had to go to the collation center and call for a recount. Today, all those agents who did that are useless people as far as the MPP running mate is concerned. Now, Dr. Farijan comes out to declare the results. The MPP, which either two was praising Dr. Farijan, the electoral commission, which either two had told the people of this country, including the supporters that I won the elections, now turn around 360 degrees to say that somebody had rigged the elections. Now provide the evidence to the extent that they call President Mahama a thief. We had instances where even their members of parliament stood in parliament with placards. They called the president stealer. Now Dr. Bawumia appeared before the court, before the justices and before the people of this country. Dr. Bawumia, direct question was posed to him. Is it true that President John Mahama was culpable, was involved directly or indirectly? Did he rig the elections? Dr. Bawumia said no. So how come you were trying to demonize, criminalize this honorable man that God has taken us to elect when we don't have any sort of evidence?
Clear case of mischief.
So these are people whose credibility has always been in doubt. These are people who, prior to the election, said they must win. If they didn't win the election, the Ghana must not live in peace. They must destabilize the peace of this country. Seriously speaking, I'm not surprised when they formed this Let My Vote Count staff, running around the world. Today they're in the UK, tomorrow they're in America. Why? Is Ghana not a sovereign country? If you have any challenge for elections, if it's not for the sake of mischief, for the sake of wanting to sack potential investors from coming here, why on earth would any Ghanaian, a patriotic Ghanaian, a nationalist, travel to another country to go and demonstrate, tell lies about a country that I come from? But I say God is not sleeping. God is watching over every human being. I've always said that my people from Akpafu, as I say, that a sheep that is defecating and spoiling the town, they're spoiling his own tail. The truth will be vindicated. It's just like a calabash. You can't submerge underwater. Now, Dr. Bawumia, tell the people of this country, if indeed President Mahama was in any way involved in any regional election, he said no. He said no. And the man at that point couldn't lie because he has sworn an oath.
With the Holy Quran.
With the Holy Quran.
Which I hope he reads, by the way.
I believe so as much. So the man couldn't lie at that point than to come out and tell the truth. And that is why some of us think that the MPP owe President Mahama an apology. The MPP owe the NDC an apology. And the MPP owe the good people of this country an apology. When the ladder that won the election by 51%, when the ladder that won the election by 52%, where did they get all those results that they churned out? This same group of people, you remember, I think on the 9th, Mount to STL building at the West Airport,
West Airport,
some Israeli company, that they saw President Mahama coming out of the building and that were collecting results in there. Indeed, the former Minister of Finance of this country, former Minister of Education, led the group of people to go and do that disgraceful thing in a private company. Samuel was there. Was chanting, shouting, same manner of things. All these has turned out to be false.
It has to take the intervention of the Peace Council.
The Peace Council.
To come and tell them there's nothing
happening there.
Go home and rest.
Lies. Obasanjo and the rest went there. Nothing was happening there. So all the information MPP was churning out. And me, I was not surprised, seriously speaking, when finally the communication director, Nana Kumia, came out to make a confession that if they had not taken the steps they are taking now, their party followers would have lynched and killed them.
So it's all about protecting their interests.
When Gabi Otidaku said that, what they are doing is not about logic. It's not about common sense.
So he doesn't care if it is senseless.
That's right. But I said God in heaven who doesn't sleep, who expose them, and get people of this country get to know what the Dankwambuja tradition really represents in our political discourse.
Okay, I'll come back to you. I want you to hold your fire there. Prince, yes. your observation. It looks like this issue, one thing that I see that the MPP is trying very hard to ensure that it subsists within our platform is that this court case should keep us busy all the time. We should be talking about it. That, I think, is an achievement to them. But I resist that temptation. Oh, seriously, because we will not dedicate this platform to discussing all the court cases. We have far more important issues to discuss. But your observation, I mean, these are things that are on the heart of Ghanaians, by the way.
Yes, my observation so far is that this is a test of Ghana's democracy. President John Mahama went to Bole to vote, and he got back to Accra. This very, ridiculous accusation that President John Mahama rigged an election. I just want to ask one question. Was President John Mahama at every polling station?
No wonder.
Okay. How come we have thousands of NPP polling agents, but they did not actually complain at the polling centers? They did not. We live in a country that is free, a country that enjoys a lot of democracy here. So the NPP is just trying to make a case out of nothing. And I believe in the Ghanaian courts. I believe that the judges at the court will look into this and do their very best to deliver justice to the Ghanaian people. We heard how they had so much confidence, the NPP had so much confidence in the system. They proposed the biometric system, as my brother Fred just said. All of a sudden, they don't like that same biometric voting system. These are the people we have. They went to London, they went to the United States, and they went disgracing Ghana with placards, with very bad things about Ghana. Is this what we want for our country? A party that believes that if it is not in power, then nobody else deserves to be in power. That is NPP. A party that condescends, looks down upon every other Ghanaian, especially if you belong to a different political party. No, the people of Ghana, President John Mahama ran in the election. He won the election. President John Mahama did not turn into 26,000 people to man all the 26,000 polling stations. He didn't. Now, why is it that there is one particular candidate in this country, presidential candidate, who loses an election and refuses to concede defeat? That's one question I always ask.
Perhaps he was born a king.
Probably. We had 2000, round one. May his soul rest in peace, President John Evans Atta Mills. One thing I learned from that great man was the fact that he was very peaceful and ready to respect the people of Ghana and their decision. 2000, he lost the round one. He conceded defeat and went into competition for round two. Unfortunately, President Mills lost, then Vice President Mills. He lost. He was the sitting vice president. He did not ask his supporters to go to Obra Sport to go and demonstrate. He did not refuse to concede defeat, at the time he did not actually go the extra mile of gingering his supporters to cause mayhem. We heard all that happen in December when people were stabbing NDC supporters. Yeah. People were fighting NDC supporters. When we are one people, we are Ghanaians first before NDC and PP. Not only the 2000 elections, not only those two elections in 2000, we had elections in 2004, which we in the NDC believe were manipulated by the NPP, not by the EC, by the ruling NPP at the time. But President Mills went out there. He went round Accra to thank the people of Ghana for voting for him and asked that we move forward in peace. He said clearly he didn't want to run a country that is fighting itself, a country that people are fighting. So whatever they do, they are in power, they could go on. One day he would become president. Lo and behold, the God that we serve in this country made President Mills president. Not after another battle. The fourth time he lost a competitive election, well, lost on court. Because some of those, especially, I believe the 2008 election, the first round, was also manipulated by the same NPP. I believe that. Because I knew very well, we did a lot of research, and we presented a whole lot of figures. I knew very well that they were going to do that. If I show you track records of emails I sent to a whole lot of big party people in those days, we just predicted what they could do, and they did it perfectly. But thank God, President Mills did not fight. He did not refuse the results, to accept the results. He accepted in good faith and said, what? Let's go for another round. We went for that route. They said, okay, they needed more. And the EC said, okay, let's go to time, which finally decided it. So, the great man, President Mills, left a legacy, a very peaceful one. And President John Mahama is following through. He's advancing the peaceful respect that we have for the Ghanaian people. We do not, as NDC, what we do is we respect the people who put us there. The party NDC is a party of different people from different backgrounds. We respect each other, all Ghanaians, regardless of who you voted for. Even if you voted for NPP in the last election, we know in NDC that you are not NPP first, you are Ghanaian first. You are not NPP first, you are Ghanaian first. And therefore, President John Mahama is working hard now to make sure that the power problem we have, he resolves it. Don't forget, there was NPP in power for 8 years. They never actually added any new generation capacity to the electricity generation systems we had in this country. That is part of the big problem we are facing now with power. The water problem, you know, instead of investing in water, they went investing in palatial buildings and 50-cent gold chains. That is what we had. So all I can say about this court case simply is that President John Mahama knows that the Ghanaian people gave him a mandate, a very peaceful mandate. President John Mahama wants to lead this country forward. We want to move into a serious age of prosperity where the president does everything possible to raise the people of Ghana, those who aspire to higher levels, social mobility. If you come from, you know, this small community today, we want to see you develop your community, develop yourself, and develop Ghana. Yeah. That is what the president is doing.
To ask, except that it is not part of the main discussion, except that I never had you in time, just to say, the UK branch for the MPP made some comments regarding coup, that the situation in Ghana is ripe for anybody to stage a coup. Madness. And yes, I thought that you are in UK, you've been marching them boot for boot. Yes. What's your opinion about that reckless comment?
That reckless comment came from no less a personality than the NPP UK chairman, Mr. Hayford Atakrofi. Mr. Atakrofi knows me very well as NDC UK secretary. We debated on radio several times in the UK. He's fond of such statements. I didn't take him too seriously. But what I took very seriously was the mention of coup d'etat.
And he's a retired military officer.
He's a retired military officer. As a person, I know he's fond of making some political gaffes and all that. But then mentioning a coup d'etat as a former military officer who served in Ghana's military, to me, I am calling on Ghana's security agencies to be on the lookout. When next he arrives in Ghana, he must be questioned. That is all. Because we are a free country. We are a country that wants to progress. We do not want people like that to, try to ginger others or probably themselves to cause mayhem, to cause trouble.
But regarding the court case, I'm sure he also mobilized some people to go on protest.
That
demonstrate at the High Commission that they want a speedy, case trial.
That's what they do all the time. Any protest, anti-government protest you hear in London especially, and New York, is engineered by the NPP UK group in London. We know.
Was it successful?
I don't know why we are surprised about this. We need to go back in history and follow the way the Dan Kwambuja people have always positioned themselves. You know, their contribution, their role towards Ghana's independence. Those were the days they could even send a delegation to the Queen to tell the Queen, listen, Nkrumah is too ambitious. We are not ready. We are not prepared. Don't grant us the independence. Those were the days we want to build a Kosovo Dam. We want to build Tema Township, Accra Tema Motorway. Every single thing that today the people of this country are benefiting from. These people stood against it. They've never liked it. They've never. It must always be them. Once it is not them, the rest of us don't matter. We cannot belong. They are the aristocrats. They are the yam that I am. They are the everything in society. The educated elite. The rest of us, sebi. The cocoa farmers' children, the carpenters' children, the truck driver, the farmer. We don't matter. We must not live with them. Who are we to want to govern them? That is the attitude. That is the kind of useless arrogance that we see. And why should we go for an election? They have bastardized Dr. Farajan, criminalized him, condemned him. This is a man who has become a reference point when it comes to electoral issues in Africa. Yes. Several countries across Africa are calling him for his expertise. This man today, people can stand on platform and call him a criminal and say all manner of things about him just because of elections. Is Ghana coming to an end? Is 2012 elections the end of the world? I am very happy today. I don't know Bernard Mona's case he took to court. It was condemned and what have you. He shouldn't go to court. By the grace of God, the General Secretary of PNC had gone to court to test our laws. The ICI 74 that they challenged, that mandated the Supreme Court to sit even on weekends to sit on this issue. The court said no, weekends you can't sit, public holidays you can't sit. We can't do that. If you go and check the earlier law, they didn't even make provision for appeal. Yeah. What they come out with should be the final thing. Now there is room and provision for anybody to go for an appeal when the verdict finally comes out. So really, I am very happy. And to be very honest with you, in the midst of all these things, sometimes I watch President Mahama. One would have thought that the man should be worried, the man should relax, but the man is so focused on his core mandate. President Mahama is so worried about the number of Ghanaian young men and women, those who have completed tertiary level of studies, those who couldn't continue beyond GS to have gone to apprenticeship, and they are around, they don't have anything to do. And these are the things he has inherited as a president. President who came up and said, listen, I am the president. I am not going to blame anybody for the challenge that we have as a nation. I am taking responsibility. All I need from you is that rally behind me. Rally behind me, support me. I agree that things are difficult. He has not run away from that. The man comes out to tell us the true state of the nation. People think it's wrong. For them, you should have come and lie. You come and deceive us, create artificial impression. The man said, no. This is where we are as a country. But for him, he believes there's a storm. It will blow and pass. Ghana will come back to his glorious days. Then these people doomsayers, they are never always thinking about negative things, create the impression as though Ghana has become a failed state, nothing is happening. Now they are talking about coup d'etat. Why? If Akufo-Addo becomes the president of Ghana, my people in the north, upper west, upper east, in the voter ID and the rest who are farmers, would they become lawyers? I don't think so. Would the truck driver who drives his truck around suddenly become a doctor if Akufo-Addo is a president? Would the woman who roast plantain by the roadside to take off the family member suddenly Choco and the fishermen and the rest? What happens to them? Okay. So what is this physician about?
I want you to land there because I'm taking my final break. When I come back, Prince Kasim will have his bites on the achievement on the first 100 days of John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. Do stay with me. I will be right back. Hello and welcome back. In case you're just tuning in, this is Majority Caucus. We are live on Multi TV, also live on www.multitvworld.com. I want to activate the phone lines, but I will just pause for a while. I need Prince to have his bites. After that, quickly, we'll return to the phone lines and I could have your views heard on air. Prince, it's obvious that even though there's court cases ongoing, there are very, very pressing matters that we need to talk about. For instance, people have characterized, if you like, the first few achievements of the president with doomsaw and, what do you call it, strikes. I don't know if that is view that is so great enough to, overshadow the concrete achievement that this presidency has chalked.
Yes, the truth is that the John Mahama presidency has achieved a great deal in a short period of time. He promised to tell Ghanaians the truth about what is happening. For instance, in areas like health, the government has introduced what's called pediatric nursing. Previously, Ghanaian nurses were being trained in the UK and South Africa, those who wanted to specialize in children's kind of health-related nursing. That's what's the pediatric kind of pediatric nursing. Okay. And for us to have nurses dedicated to children in a country where we always strive to make sure that our children live beyond 5 years and actually live their full lives. In a country where previously infant mortality was very, very high. It's now reducing a little bit, even though we still have a great deal to do to make sure that we reduce it almost entirely. So that is one thing that this government has begun. The first licensure exams to license such nurses has even taken place. The Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital in Kumasi, there is going to be a computerization of the whole place so that operations of the place could get better. They took delivery of mobile digital X-ray systems and monitors and a whole lot of things that would improve healthcare and revolutionize healthcare. Malaria prevalence rate was also reduced very significantly in Ghana. So this is a president who is committed to improving the health of the Ghanaian people. Because if you are healthy, if our people are healthy, if there's no issue of sickness and all that in our families, then parents, mothers and fathers could go to work freely, make money, work for this economy to grow. Together they help. As the president works, they work. Together we work hard to grow the country. That is the kind of president we need. Not one who would just be so desperate to win power, promising everything free, including hostels for Kaya, when he knows that building hostels would only bring too many Kayas back again into Accra, and we cannot improve the situation.
Let me activate the phone lines 03022 1170124 03022 Yeah, Fred.
Well, I think I want to look at what has happened in the energy sector. Okay. It is true that when we took over office, President Mahama took over office, especially in the later part of last year and this early part of this year, the people of this country were tested the fact that there are several challenges with electricity supply. Several areas will go for 3 days, for 4 days, and what have you. The question is, as we speak today, is the situation still the same? Every member of our society can attest to it that there's been great improvement. You remember not too long ago, President Mahama made a promise that by the end of this month, by the end of May as well, all this problem would have been resolved.
First week in May.
Yeah, first week in May. And the target really is that by the end of this year, we would have enough energy supply that would never come back to this problem again. You see, what we have done in the past is that we pay lip service to some of this problem. We don't find final solution to the problem. Long-lasting solution. So what we are doing today, as we speak today, the T3 has been handed over to a VRA. T3 alone is supplying about 132 megawatts of electricity. Yeah. The Bui Dam is coming mainstream. They are starting, it's about 92% complete. They are starting the first operation in this May, 6th May. They are starting. They are also adding 133 megawatts to it. So if you put this together, that's about 265. What we need to be able to move in full capacity is about 200 megawatts. So if you are going to get 265, it means that we even have an excess of what? Some 65 in reserve. We all appreciate the difficulty that we had with the water gas pipeline. Yeah. Indeed, President Mahama is not an engineer. He only received briefing. When he received brief from these institutions, then he also communicates that to the people of this country. He was given all the assurance that they are going to face a problem. And you can ask all the editors who met him. He met with all the editors. He told them that this is the briefing I've received. If it didn't come to pass, it is not me, it is the engineers who gave me the promise. Unfortunately, just got about early this week or last part of last week, the engineers came out to tell us that there's some difficulty with the gas pipeline that are still resolving. But the significant point I'm making is that the T3 in Takoradi and the Bui Dam alone is enough to solve our problem within this period. We will get the 200 megawatts that we need. So our brothers, our sisters who are fitters, who are mechanics, who are hairdressers, who are depending so much on electricity and they go to work and light is not there, President Mahama is working very hard and very soon that will become a thing of the past. One area we targeted, area of education. That you remember a place like Afram Place. Before Jerry John Rawlings' time, that place was in total darkness. In fact, some people even thought that it was not part of Ghana. Yeah. Indeed, even the most part of northern Ghana, from the northern region to Upper East and Upper West, those were the days the Bujas and the Red, those places are too far. We can't extend electricity on national grid to those areas. It took Jerry John Rawlings, the PNDC, the NDC, to extend electricity to those areas. The Afram Place area I'm talking about, we have extended the electricity over there. John Mahama is saying that Eastern region also need a public university. Guess what he has done? They are citing one campus of the university at Afram Place. Yeah. That's good. Across the river, they are citing a university campus over there. So this is a government, this is a political party that cares about everybody. You don't need to be in Kumasi. You don't need to be in Tamale. You don't need to be in Boga. You don't need to be in Takoradi to attend a university. Wherever there you are, we are bringing a campus over there. Let your father be a fisherman. Let your mother be a farmer. Let her be a trader. They can gradually contribute so you can also have access to university education. Who will think this way?
Okay, let me just announce that I'm having some technical challenges with the phone line. So, sorry, I can't take any calls. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Ali, there is so much that is happening when it comes to area of security. Today, some people, you see, it is funny, the way these same people stand there, when I sit there sometimes and I get amazed. These are the people where we're having problem with these armed robbers and what have you. They were screaming, there's insecurity in the country, there's that and that. Today, by the grace of God, we have provided so much vehicles to the police service. We have re-equipped them, everything that they need to do that work very well. Then also with the help of the intelligence of the single spine, at least some confidence has come into their work. Today, everywhere you move in our regional capital, this capital, every single area, you see a policeman. Yeah. These same people now have turned around 360. Yeah. Now they say we are building a police state.
Yeah, we are building a police.
So sometimes you don't just get the lot.
Let me give the final opportunity to Prince. But there is also the issue of strike actions. They say, hey, Master, your first 3 months, it's all about strike actions.
I don't deserve the summer.
Let me just make it very clear that the strike actions are not about basic pay or pay that the workers deserve. They are being paid their salaries. Imagine government not paying their salaries at all, and you would see what would happen in this country. They are being paid. Majority of this strike action stuff is about premiums, is about extra money that they want for themselves. And let's just pause and ask ourselves questions. The tax take in this country is very low. Government earns very little.
In 30 seconds.
Yes. So, the best thing we have to do is to help the administration. When we are being paid our basic salaries, we've got to negotiate our ways out for the premiums and the extra that we think we deserve. So, what we are saying in NDC is we are appealing to all those striking forces, in quote, to just join hands. Let's build the country. We should not run this country down.
So Ali, just re-echo the point
in
that there is no Ghanaian worker in this country today who has not received his end of month salary.
Especially the doctors.
Government, doctors, teachers, UTA. The truth also is that every single Ghanaian worker in this country, to the government worker like me, has seen significant increment in their salaries and wages. What is in contention, like my brother rightly said, allowances. The question we are asking is this: should people die when you have received your salaries?
And even the allowances,
Allowances,
the
schedule for it to be paid. People should die because that has not been paid to you. The same people who struggle, whose monies were used in taking care of you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So these are questions.
I'm sure that if you want to discuss the pathetic posturing of the doctors, will not have much time to do justice to the whole topic. But I'm sure Ghanaians are very, very much discerning. They can distinguish between what is real, what is blackmail, what is a threat, and what is a case of dishonesty. And I believe that the doctors will come back to their senses and that they will do what is right. I thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. I do not know what is happening to Real Madrid, but I hope that we will prevail at the end of the day. Thanks for watching, and my greetings, special greetings to all the executives of North Ayawaso, Maestro, Samed, and and Boga, North Tong, all across Ghana and beyond. Thanks for watching. I'll be here on Thursday, inshallah. Bye-bye.